Act as if you are the best by Earl Nightingale. Chapter 1. You become what you think about. The human mind is a miracle beyond all others. Your thoughts, those silent forces at work within you every moment of your waking day, are shaping your life with a power so profound that most people never fully grasp it. And that, my friend, is where your great opportunity lies. Let me share with you one of the greatest truths I've discovered. You become what you think about most of the time. This isn't merely positive thinking. It's a law of human achievement as certain as gravity. Think about a garden for a moment. Your mind is like rich, fertile soil that will grow whatever seeds you plant in it. Plant seeds of doubt, fear, and failure, and you'll harvest a crop of the same. But plant seeds of confidence, courage, and success, and those, too, will flourish and grow. The mind doesn't judge what we feed it. It simply produces whatever crop we've planted. Most folks who struggle in life don't realize they've been planting the wrong seeds. They focus on what they don't want, what they fear might happen, or what others might think. And then they're surprised when those very things show up in their lives. It's as predictable as planting corn and expecting wheat to grow. It simply doesn't work that way. Now, you might say, but I can't control what happens to me. And you'd be partly right. We can't control every outside event, but here's the magnificent truth. You absolutely can control how you think about what happens to you. And that makes all the difference in the world. When you act as if you're the best, not from arrogance, but from a quiet inner certainty, something remarkable happens. Your actions begin to align with that thought. Your posture changes. Your voice carries new authority. People respond differently to you. Opportunities that were always there suddenly become visible. I've seen this happen countless times. A person decides to direct their thoughts toward excellence in their field, whatever it may be. They don't wait for outside permission. They simply decide, this is who I am now. And before long, their outer world begins to reflect this inner decision. This isn't magic. It's the natural law of cause and effect at work. The thoughts you hold consistently in your mind will, over time, shape your actions, your habits, your character, and ultimately, your destiny. Starting tomorrow morning, try this simple exercise I call thought direction. Take a blank card and write down one goal you wish to achieve. Something meaningful that represents your best self. Look at this card 3 times daily, morning, noon, and evening. Don't strain or worry about how you'll achieve it. Just plant the seed and water it with your attention. Within days, you'll notice something interesting happening. Ideas will come to you. You'll spot resources you hadn't seen before. Your actions will begin to line up with this goal without forced effort. That's because you've given your mind a clear direction and is now working for you rather than against you. Remember, no one on earth is better suited for your unique purpose than you are. When you act as if you are the best parent, the best teacher, the best at your craft, you set in motion forces that will help make it so. Your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny. Plant them wisely, tend them carefully, and watch with wonder as they grow. Chapter 2. The Magic of Setting Clear Goals. Have you ever watched an archer take aim at a target? Notice how the archer's eye focuses intently on the bullseye, not on the arrow, the bow, or anything else around them. This single-minded focus is what allows the arrow to find its mark. Your life works in much the same way. Most people wander through life like an archer shooting blindfolded, hoping somehow to hit a target they've never clearly seen. Is it any wonder they rarely hit the mark? The magic begins when you remove the blindfold and set your sights on a clear, specific goal. Think about this. When you get into your car, you don't just drive aimlessly. You have a destination in mind. You know where you're going. Yet in the bigger journey of life, many of us start the engine and drive without any real destination in mind. We react to whatever appears on the road, rather than choosing our direction. The simple truth is this. You cannot hit a target you cannot see, and you cannot see a target that does not exist. Your goals must be clear enough to see in your mind's eye. There's a special power in writing down your goals that spoken goals simply don't have. When you put pen to paper, something remarkable happens. Your subconscious mind begins to take your written goals seriously. It starts working for you day and night, looking for ways to bring that goal into reality. I've seen this happen countless times. A man writes down his goal to start his own business within 2 years. Suddenly he notices opportunities he never saw before. A conversation at a dinner party leads to a valuable connection. An article he reads sparks an idea. These aren't coincidences. They're the result of his mind being programmed to recognize what matters to his goal. Now, big goals can seem overwhelming. That's why breaking them down into smaller steps is so important. Each small victory creates momentum. Think of a locomotive, starting from a standstill. At first, it takes enormous energy just to begin moving. But once it builds momentum, it becomes nearly unstoppable. Your goals work the same way. The hardest part is often those first few steps. But each small goal you achieve adds to your momentum until success becomes almost inevitable. The difference between dreamers and achievers isn't intelligence or luck. It's the clarity of their goals and their commitment to reaching them. When you know exactly what you want, you'll find your mind automatically begins sorting through your daily experiences, keeping what helps your progress and discarding what doesn't. So take out a piece of paper. Draw a simple map with your current situation on the left and your desired goal on the right. Now add 3 stepping stones between these points. Make each stone a mini goal that moves you forward. Be specific about what each step looks like and when you'll take it. This simple exercise creates a path your mind can follow, and when your mind has a path, your feet will follow. That's the real magic of setting clear goals. They transform the invisible into the visible, the impossible into the visible, the impossible into the achievable, one step at a time. Chapter 3. The Strangest Secret of Success. The strangest secret of success isn't strange at all once you understand it. This secret has been hiding in plain sight throughout human history, yet so few grasp its profound simplicity. The secret is this: success comes from serving others well. Look around at the most successful people in any field. What separates them from the rest? It isn't merely talent or hard work, though these certainly play their part. The true differentiator is their ability to provide exceptional value to others. The marketplace, that grand arena where we all participate daily, has an uncanny wisdom. It rewards most generously those who solve problems for others most effectively. Your income, your advancement, your reputation, all these are direct reflections of the value you bring to others. This isn't philosophy, it's practical economics. When you focus on giving more in service, you inevitably receive more in return. The universe operates on this principle of exchange. Consider the person who complains about their salary while doing the bare minimum their job requires. Compare them to someone who consistently looks for ways to make life better for customers, colleagues, and their organization. Which one advances? Which one finds doors opening seemingly by magic? The answer is always the same. Excellence in service creates a foundation for lasting success that no economic downturn or changing technology can easily disrupt. When you commit to being incredibly valuable to others, you become irreplaceable. And in a world where so much changes rapidly, being irreplaceable is a powerful position indeed. This truth applies whether you work in a factory, an office, a schoolroom, or run your own business. The question that should guide your daily work isn't what's the least I can do, but rather, how can I be of greatest service here? When you make this shift, everything changes. But how do you know what value you bring? Sometimes we're too close to see our own contributions clearly. This is where your value journal becomes essential. Each evening, for 1 week, write down 3 specific ways you added value to someone else's life that day. Perhaps you solved a problem for a customer, helped a colleague understand a difficult concept, or simply brought a positive attitude that lifted the mood of your team. After a week of this practice, look back through your entries. You'll begin to see patterns emerging, natural strengths you possess in helping others. These patterns reveal your unique value proposition. The special way you serve that sets you apart. The beauty of this strangest secret is that it puts success within everyone's reach. You don't need special connections or inherited advantages. You simply need to focus on becoming exceptionally valuable to others in your chosen field. Remember, the world doesn't owe you a living or success, but it desperately needs people who can solve problems and add value. When you become one of those people, when you dedicate yourself to serving others exceptionally well, success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. This is the strangest secret, hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to discover and apply it starting today. Chapter 4. The Courage to Begin Today. It's a curious thing, my friend. How many of us wait for the perfect moment to begin our journey toward success? We stand at the edge of opportunity, looking across the gap between where we are and where we wish to be, waiting for the invisible signal that says, "Now is the time." But I must tell you something that may change your life. That perfect moment is a phantom that never arrives. The most successful people in our world share one common trait. They began before they felt completely ready. Imagine for a moment two people with identical dreams. The first says, "I will start when the conditions are just right." The second says, "I will start today, even if conditions aren't perfect." 1 year later, who do you suppose will be closer to their destination? The answer is clear as crystal. Fear stands guard at the gateway to all worthwhile achievements. It whispers convincing reasons to delay. You need more preparation, or you might fail, or perhaps what will others think? These whispers can paralyze us if we listen too closely. But something magical happens when we take that first step, despite our fears. The fear begins to shrink. Action is the great dissolver of fear. Consider the mighty oak tree. It began as a small acorn that simply started the process of becoming. It didn't worry whether conditions were perfect. It simply began. And through consistent daily growth, often too small to notice, day by day, it transformed into something magnificent. Your success follows the same natural law. Small actions, taken consistently, compound into remarkable results. Just as a penny doubled each day for a month becomes millions, your small efforts multiply in value when applied consistently. I've observed something fascinating in the thousands of success stories I've studied. The beginning is almost always humble. The great novel begins with a single paragraph. The successful business begins with a single customer. The healthier body begins with a single better choice. The tragedy lies not in failing, but in never beginning at all. Each dawn brings you a fresh canvas of possibility, but you must pick up the brush and make the first stroke. No one else can do this for you. If you're waiting until you feel completely ready before you begin, you may wait forever. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. And here's the secret. Action itself generates the confidence you're waiting to feel. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. The universe has a way of clearing the path for those in motion while remaining impassable to those standing still. Today, I challenge you. Choose one thing you've been postponing and give it just 5 minutes of your time. Set a timer and begin. When the timer rings, decide whether to continue or stop. You'll likely discover that starting was indeed the hardest part, and once in motion, you'll want to continue. Remember, my friend, the clock is ticking. The same seconds pass for all of us. The difference between achievement and regret often comes down to one simple choice: the courage to begin today. Chapter 5. Attitude, your window to the world. Your attitude is the lens through which you view everything in your life. Just as a window frames what we see of the outside world, our attitude frames how we interpret our daily experiences. I've always maintained that the most successful people in any field share one common trait: a positive, expectant attitude that colors their perception in ways that benefit them tremendously. Consider two people facing the same rainy morning. The first person sees nothing but inconvenience, wet clothes, and ruined plans. The second sees the nourishment of plants, the cleaning of city streets, and perhaps the perfect excuse to enjoy a warm cup of coffee while watching nature's show. Same rain, entirely different experiences, all because of attitude. My friends, your attitude is entirely your choice, No one can force you to have a bad attitude or a good one. Even in the most challenging circumstances, you maintain this fundamental freedom to choose how you will respond to what happens around you. This may be the most powerful freedom we possess as human beings. I've noticed throughout my years of observing successful people that they rarely speak of bad luck or misfortune. Instead, they talk about challenges, learning experiences, and opportunities for growth. When faced with a setback, they ask themselves, "What can I learn from this?" rather than "Why is this happening to me?" The difference is subtle but profound in its effects. The wonderful thing about a positive attitude is that it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you expect good things, you tend to notice opportunities that others miss. You interact with people differently, which causes them to respond more favorably to you. You persist longer when facing obstacles because you believe in a positive outcome. Gratitude is the secret fuel of a positive attitude. When you make a habit of noticing what's right in your world instead of what's wrong, you quite literally rewire your brain to find more things to appreciate. Start each day by naming 3 things you're thankful for, and watch how your perspective shifts over time. Remember, too, that your attitude isn't just for you. It's contagious. The people around you can sense it, respond to it, and often adopt it themselves. A single person with a genuinely positive attitude can transform an entire workplace, family, or community. If you find your attitude slipping toward the negative, as we all do sometimes, don't wait for it to improve on its own. Take immediate action. Use the attitude reset button exercise. Create or designate a small object you can touch, perhaps a stone in your pocket or a special spot on your desk. When negative thoughts begin to spiral, touch this reset button and immediately state one thing you genuinely appreciate in this moment. This simple pattern interrupt can break negative thought chains before they gather momentum. Act as if you have the best attitude in the world, and soon you won't be acting at all. It will become your natural state. Your window to the world will be clear, bright, and will frame a landscape rich with possibility. And that, my friend, is when the magic begins to happen. Chapter 6. The Rewards of Going the Extra Mile. I've observed something remarkable throughout my years of studying successful people. There's an invisible line that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the average from the exceptional. And do you know what that line is? It's simply a willingness to go a little further than expected. Most folks in this world do just enough to get by. They meet the minimum requirements of their job. They put in exactly the hours they're paid for, not a minute more. They do what they're told, nothing less, but certainly nothing more. And there's nothing wrong with that, if average results are what you're after. But you, my friend, aren't reading this book to be average, are you? The truth is, the difference between good and great is often just a small amount of extra effort. It's staying 15 minutes longer to perfect a project. It's making one more sales call after everyone else has gone home. It's reading one more article about your field while others watch television. Consider the Olympic sprinter who wins the gold medal. Do you know how much faster they typically are than the 4th-place finisher who goes home with nothing, often just a fraction of a second? The difference in skill might be tiny, but the difference in reward is enormous. The marketplace has a wonderful way of recognizing and rewarding those who give more than expected. When you consistently do more than you're paid for, you'll eventually be paid more for what you do. It's a law as reliable as gravity. I remember a young clerk who worked at a hardware store in a small Midwest town. While other employees simply pointed customers toward the items they sought, this young man would walk customers to the exact spot, offer helpful advice about the project they were working on, and even carry purchases to their cars. He wasn't paid extra for these services. He simply chose to give more. Within a year, the owner made him manager. Within 3 years, with the owner's blessing and assistance, he opened his own store in a neighboring town. Today, he owns a chain of hardware stores throughout the state. Was he smarter than the other clerks? Perhaps not. But he understood the power of going the extra mile. The wonderful thing about this principle is that it works regardless of your current position. Whether you're a janitor or a CO, going beyond expectations sets you apart. And here's the secret. It's actually easier to stand out than you might think, because so few people are willing to do more than the minimum. Start small. Look for one opportunity each day to put in a bit more effort, to deliver slightly more than expected. It might feel insignificant at first, but like compound interest, these small extra efforts accumulate over time, creating a reputation and results that can't be ignored. The rewards may not come immediately. In fact, sometimes it seems like your extra efforts go unnoticed, but have faith in this principle. Keep going the extra mile, and soon you'll find yourself on a road where there's much less traffic. The road to extraordinary success. Chapter 7. Turning problems into opportunities. Problems. Those unwelcome visitors that knock on everyone's door. Most people run from them or complain about their arrival. But the truly successful person welcomes them in, offers them a seat, and asks, "What gift have you brought me today?" That's right, my friend. Problems aren't roadblocks. They're signposts pointing to new vistas of opportunity. The greatest fortunes, the most remarkable inventions, and the most profound human achievements have all emerged from what initially appeared as insurmountable obstacles. Consider this truth. Every single product or service you use today exists because it solved someone's problem. The electric light bulb came about because darkness was a problem. Telephones appeared because distance communication was a problem. Your favorite store exists because obtaining goods was once a problem. When you face a problem, you stand at a crossroads of possibility. Most people take the well-worn path of avoidance or complaint. But you, as someone determined to be the best, can take the road less traveled, the path of transformation. How do you transform a problem into opportunity? First, change your language. Never say, "I have a problem." Instead, say, "I have an interesting challenge to solve." This small shift changes everything about your approach. Problems feel heavy and unwelcome. Challenges feel like invitations to grow stronger. Second, ask better questions. Poor questions like, "Why does this always happen to me?" or "Who's to blame?" lead nowhere productive. Better questions open doors. What's good about this situation? What can I learn here? How might this difficulty be preparing me for something greater? Remember the story of the young salesman who was transferred to a remote territory where no one had ever made a decent sale. Instead of complaining, he asked, "If no one's had success here, what approach has never been tried?" He discovered the locals valued personal relationships above all else. So rather than pushing products, he built friendships first. Within a year, he had the highest sales in the company's history. Problems also reveal your hidden strengths. Like muscles that grow stronger only when faced with resistance, your capabilities expand only when tested against difficulties. The problem that frustrates you today is actually building the exact strength you'll need for tomorrow's opportunity. When facing your next challenge, try this simple practice. Take a blank sheet of paper and draw a line down the middle. On the left side, write down every aspect of the problem. On the right side, for each problem aspect, write a possible benefit or opportunity it might contain. This exercise trains your mind to automatically see the hidden potential in every difficulty. The greatest people in history weren't those who had the fewest problems. They were those who transformed their problems into stepping stones, and you can do the same. When you master this skill of transformation, you'll never look at problems the same way again. You'll develop an almost eager anticipation for challenges, knowing each one carries the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Today, look your problems straight in the eye and ask them, "What opportunity have you come to deliver?" The answer might just surprise you. Chapter 8. Act as if you already are what you aspire to be. Have you ever watched a child at play? The youngster who ties a towel around his neck becomes Superman in his mind. The little girl who holds a toy stethoscope truly believes she's healing her stuffed animals. They act as if they already are what they aspire to be. And in that simple childhood behavior lies one of the most powerful success principles known to mankind. This principle isn't make believe. It's a practical tool for personal transformation. William James, the great American psychologist, discovered that if you act as if you have a particular trait, you will gradually develop that very quality. Your actions, you see, lead your feelings, not the other way around. Most folks have it backward. They believe they must first feel confident before they can act confidently. They think they need to feel successful before they can behave like a success. But the truth works in reverse. Act first and the feelings will follow. Consider the salesperson who hasn't made a sale all week. He can drag himself to the next appointment, shoulders slumped, voice uncertain, already defeated in his mind. Or he can straighten his posture, put energy in his step, and approach his prospect with the same enthusiasm and authority as if he were the top performer in his company. Which approach do you think produces better results? The same principle applies in every area of life. If you want to be kind, act as if you are a kind person, and kindness will become your natural response. If you wish to be courageous, act as if you already possess courage, and brave actions will become easier. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about pretending or deceiving others. It's about aligning your behavior with your highest aspirations, rather than your current limitations. It's about becoming the person you are capable of being. Your body and mind are connected. When you adjust your physical behavior, standing taller, speaking more clearly, making decisions promptly, your mind follows suit. Your thoughts begin to match your actions. Think of it as a rehearsal for success. The baseball player practices his swing thousands of times before stepping up to the plate in a critical game. The musician plays scales for years before performing a concerto. Through practice, they become what they aspire to be. Start with small steps. If you wish to be more organized, act as if you are an organized person for just 1 hour. How would that person arrange their desk? What decisions would they make about incoming papers? Small victories create momentum. When you act as if you're already your best self, a remarkable thing happens. The gap between who you are and who you want to be begins to narrow. Your pretending becomes performance, and your pretending becomes performance, and your performance eventually becomes your reality. The world responds differently to you when you carry yourself as if you're already the person you aim to become. Opportunities open up. People treat you according to how you present yourself. Act like a leader and people will follow. Act like an expert and people will seek your advice. Act as if you are the best, because in your unique place in this world, no one is better suited than you for your particular purpose. Chapter 9. The Power of Acting the Part. Have you ever watched a skilled actor become someone entirely different on stage? It's a remarkable transformation that reveals an important truth about human nature, one that applies directly to your success. When you act as if you already are what you aspire to be, something magical happens. Your mind and body begin to align with that vision, and the world responds accordingly. This isn't pretending or being fake. Rather, it's about living from your highest potential right now instead of waiting for some distant future. Consider the shy salesperson who acts as if they're confident when meeting clients. At first, it feels uncomfortable, perhaps even a bit strange, but with each interaction, the act becomes more natural until one day they realize they're no longer acting. They've become confident. This principle works because your actions influence your feelings more powerfully than your feelings influence your actions. Most people wait to feel successful before they act successful. But the truth works in reverse. Act successful first and the feelings will follow. Think about the posture of success. How does a top performer in your field carry themselves? How do they speak? How do they handle challenges? Begin to mirror these qualities, not as imitation, but as an expression of the greatness already within you. Everyone who has achieved greatness started by acting as if they could achieve it. The championship athlete visualizes victory before it happens. The successful entrepreneur operates with certainty, even when facing uncertainty. The respected leader demonstrates calm during crisis, before knowing the outcome. Each day presents countless opportunities to practice this principle. When facing a difficult conversation, act as if you're already skilled at communication. When struggling with a new skill, approach it as if you're naturally talented at learning. When doubt creeps in, stand tall as if confidence flows through your veins. This isn't about false pride or arrogance. It's about recognizing that within you lies every quality needed for success in your chosen field. Acting as if you're already there simply removes the barriers between your current self and your best self. The wonderful truth is that no one is better qualified to be you at your best than you are. Others may have different talents or advantages, but no one has your unique combination of experiences, insights, and abilities. When you act as if you're the best, you're not claiming superiority over others. You're claiming your rightful place as the highest expression of yourself. Begin today. Choose one area where you want to excel and ask, how would I act if I were already the best at this? Then do exactly that. Your actions will reshape your beliefs will reinforce your actions, and together they'll transform your results. Act as if you already are what you aspire to be, and through the miracle of human potential, you will become exactly that. Chapter 10. Act as if you already are what you wish to become. Imagine for a moment that the person you hope to be someday has already arrived. The successful writer, the confident speaker, the respected leader. What if you simply decided to be that person today? This, my friends, is one of the most powerful secrets I've discovered in my years of studying success. You need not wait for some distant tomorrow to become your best self. You can begin acting as if you are already there. The remarkable thing about this principle is that it works from the outside in. When you act as if you already possess the qualities you desire, your mind begins to accept this new image as fact. You see, our actions often lead our feelings, not the other way around. Consider a child learning to swim. The youngster doesn't wait until he feels like a swimmer before entering the water. He gets in, moves his arms and legs as a swimmer would, and gradually becomes what he is practicing to be. The action creates the reality. The same is true in your life's pursuits. If you wish to be confident, act confidently, even when your knees are shaking. If you wish to be kind, perform kind acts even on days when you don't particularly feel like it. The doing creates the being. This is not pretending or being false. It's actually the opposite. It's calling forth the real. It's calling forth the real you that has been waiting for permission to emerge. Think about the heroes and leaders you admire. They weren't born with their admirable qualities fully formed. They practiced them, often when they felt least capable. Abraham Lincoln acted with courage and wisdom long before he felt sure of either quality. Eleanor Roosevelt spoke with authority before she felt authorized. The most fascinating aspect of acting as if is that it takes no more energy than acting small. In fact, it often takes less. When you act beneath your potential, you waste precious energy holding yourself back. Let me give you a simple way to put this into practice today. Pick one quality you wish to develop. Perhaps it's confidence, creativity, or compassion. Now ask yourself, how would I stand, speak, and respond to others if I already embodied this quality completely? Then do exactly that for one full day. Notice how others respond to you differently. Notice how you begin to feel different inside. By day's end, you'll discover that you weren't acting at all. You were simply allowing your true capabilities to shine through. Remember, friends, the gap between who you are and who you can be is often just a matter of how you choose to act. The electrician becomes skilled by working with electricity. The pianist becomes proficient by playing the piano. And you become your best self by acting as if you already are that person. Don't wait for circumstances to change before you change. Begin today to act as if you are already the person you aspire to be. The world will adjust its response to match the new you that you present to it. Act as if you are the best and watch as that vision gradually, but surely becomes your reality. Chapter 11. Acting as if success is inevitable. The greatest achievers in history shared a remarkable quality. They carried themselves with an air of inevitability about their success. This wasn't arrogance or false confidence. It was an unshakable inner knowing that they were on the right path, doing what they were meant to do. I'd like you to consider a powerful idea that might change your life. It's simply this. Act as if you are already the person you intend to become. If you want to be successful in your field, act as if you already are. If you want to be confident, act as if confidence is your natural state. Now, this isn't pretending or false behavior. It's about aligning your actions with your highest vision for yourself. When you act as if you're not deceiving others, you're instructing your subconscious mind to create a new reality. Think about how the best person in your field would approach your work. How would they handle challenges? How would they treat others? How would they prepare? How would they prepare? How would they dress and speak? When you act in alignment with these answers, you begin creating a new pattern in your mind. Your subconscious cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you act as if you are already successful, your subconscious accepts this as your reality and works to make it permanent. This is why actors sometimes find it difficult to shake off roles they've played. They've been acting as if so thoroughly that it changed their inner wiring. The great industrialist Henry Ford understood this principle when he said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." He knew that our actions follow our self-concept. By acting as if you are capable and worthy of success, you create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Consider the case of a young Abraham Lincoln. Long before he became president, he carried himself with dignity and spoke with clarity that suggested a greater destiny. He acted as if he was a statesman before anyone recognized him as such. His internal image preceded his external reality. You can apply this principle immediately. If you're in sales, act as if you're already the top producer. Prepare like they would, dress as they would, approach clients as they would. If you're a parent, act as if you're the calm, patient guide your children need, even in challenging moments. This isn't about perfection. Even the best have bad days. It's about direction and intention. Each time you act in alignment with your highest vision, you're carving a path toward making that vision real. Remember, no one is better qualified to do your job than you are. You were placed in your position because someone recognized your capabilities. Honor that recognition by acting as if you are exactly where you belong, doing exactly what you were meant to do. Start small. Choose one area where acting as if would make a difference. Perhaps it's speaking up in meetings, approaching a difficult task, or handling a challenging relationship. Act as if you already know how to excel in that situation. Notice how this small shift creates ripples of change. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is bridged by how you act today. Act as if that gap doesn't exist, and soon enough it won't. Chapter 12. Be the best version of yourself today. There's a fundamental truth I've observed throughout my life. We all have within us the seeds of greatness. The tragedy is that most people never discover this truth. They walk through life looking at others with admiration and envy, never realizing that the same potential dwells within them. My friends, today is the day to act as if you are already the best. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, this moment. When you act as if you are the best at what you do, a remarkable transformation begins. Your posture changes, your voice carries new authority, your decisions become more confident, and most importantly, your results begin to match your self-image. Consider the concert pianist who sits at the keyboard. Before touching a single note, she positions herself as if she is already the master, of that instrument. Her mind is clear, her focus absolute. She doesn't hope to play well. She knows she will play magnificently because she has already decided that this is who she is. The same principle applies to you, regardless of your work or position in life. The postal worker who delivers mail with pride and precision. The teacher who prepares for each class as if it's the most important lesson those children will ever receive. The parent who approaches each day with the conviction that they are raising future leaders. Now, let me be clear about something. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean pretending. It's not about fooling others or yourself. It's about recognizing your inherent value and bringing your highest self to every situation. When you clean a floor, clean it as if you're the world's greatest floor cleaner. When you write a report, compose it as if it will be read by the most important people in your industry. When you greet a customer, do so as if this interaction could change both your lives for the better. This isn't pride or arrogance, it's self-respect. It's honoring the gifts you've been given by using them to their fullest extent. I've watched countless people transform their lives by adopting this simple practice. The salesman who was at the bottom of his team began acting as if he were the top performer. Within 6 months, his sales matched his new self, a new self-image. The shy student who acted as if she were a confident public speaker eventually became exactly that.
Your mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you consistently act as if you are already the person you wish to become, your subconscious mind accepts this as your reality and works tirelessly to make it so.
So today, walk a little taller, speak with quiet confidence, make decisions with clarity and purpose, approach your work with excellence. Approach your work with excellence. Act as if you are already the best at what you do.
Because the wonderful truth is this: no one is better qualified to be you than you are. No one brings your unique combination of talents, experiences, and perspective to the table. In the role of being yourself, you truly are without equal.
Act as if you are the best, and watch as the world begins to agree with you.